So here we have our beautiful chocolate truffles. We are ready for Valentine's Day. Hi everyone, Healthy Chef Sherell here, coming to you from the LEED Certified Living Fort House. And today we have a very special guest. Mona McGregor is here with us, and she is a highly skilled sex therapist. She's just wonderful at creating safe, non-judgmental spaces to talk about intimacy and relationships. We're going to be doing 2 segments. This is the first one with Mona and I, and she's going to discuss cooking as a relationship ritual, dessert as a metaphor for desire, love as intellectual intimacy, micro moments of connection, and love rituals that actually work. She's also going to talk about using Valentine's Day as a reset button. So Mona, without any further ado, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your practice?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It is such a delight to work on a project with you, and I've had the pleasure of being in your kitchen before and being able to create with you. So thank you for having me back.
Yes.
And I'm a licensed mental health counselor and certified clinical sex therapist, hypnotherapist, and yoga teacher. So I am thrilled to be here today to talk to you about intimacy and love, relationship, connection, and my favorite day of the year, Valentine's
Day. I know.
I have been a fanatic ever since I was a little girl.
We did a segment last year on Valentine's Day, so I know this is our second one.
All right. I hope there'll be more in the future.
I know, it should be an annual tradition for us now.
That's right.
So much to celebrate. Now, do you primarily work with couples, or do you work with men and women individually, or how does that work in your practice?
So I've been in private practice for over 20 years, and I have a generalized practice where I work with individuals and couples on a variety of issues, anxiety, depression, transition, grief. But I have a specialization. I'm a certified clinical sex therapist, so I have additional training in that field. And that is a wonderful addition to have as a therapist, because when you're working with couples, sexuality and intimacy is always one of the most important players.
Of course. When people come to see you, is it a variety of topics they want to discuss, or is there a common question that people have? Or
well, I think many times people end up coming to see a therapist because there's something happening in their life that they're not able to resolve on their own. It could be moving through a move and a transition and a change in life. Sometimes it's about getting over a breakup and getting the courage to get back out there and be in a new relationship. Many times our couples will come in, and for me, I think a lot of people choose me because they think that there's a sexual problem. So many times people will come in and think that that is the one thing that needs to be fixed.
Oh, I see.
That is broken. And what typically ends up happening is we take apart all of the different pain points in the relationship. We see where communication, where there might be issues with finances, there might be issue with scheduling, wellness, and also changes in sexual health can play a role in what's happening in their sexual relationship.
Changes in the body, different
absolutely.
illnesses, different things of that nature. Can you tell us about cooking as a ritual in a relationship?
Yes. Well, you mentioned earlier about intimacy. As a sex therapist, a lot of what I do is education. There's a lot of beliefs
I imagine
and
so.
myths about sex and the idea of sexuality and the role of sex in a relationship. So a lot of what sex therapists do is educate and normalize sexuality and sex, because we live in a very sexualized world. It's everywhere, but very few of us came from a skill set where we talked about healthy sexuality.
I can only imagine that most of us did not. And I was just wondering, do you see different belief systems based upon different generations?
People's religious background, people's countries of origin and their culture. There's all kinds of things, and a lot of these messages get handed down to us when we're born. Basically, our parents have planted a garden that becomes ours. And they plant all kinds of beautiful things in that garden. Lots of things that we're so proud to have. But many times they end up planting things in there, beliefs and worries and fears, the things that are right and wrong in that garden. And those things don't necessarily serve us over time. So we have our own individual garden that we need to take care of. You know, in our health and well-being, whether it's sexuality or mental health or physical wellness. And then when we come together with a partner, we plant a garden together. So we can bring some things that don't serve us, and then we can also plant some things that are really healthy.
So that's wonderful that you're really identifying the history that goes into intimacy, because I think so many people just focus on the act of sex. And not really the deepness of it or the intimacy of it and what it can be. And I don't think that you can ever get to that point without communication and without skill. So I think what you do is absolutely wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
And I imagine it just frees people up to learn more about themselves, more about their partners, to learn how they can be better together.
Well, I hope so. My goal is to create a very safe place. You know, it's a topic that many couples can't talk about, and now they're going to sit in front of a complete stranger and share some of the most intimate details. So my goal is to make people feel safe, to make people feel heard, to normalize things and give them some opportunities to look forward, to enhance the strengths that they have in their relationship and maybe heal some of the pain points. But you did mention intimacy. And so with intimacy, there are so many different types of intimacy. We have spiritual intimacy, we have physical intimacy, we have sexual intimacy, and we have emotional intimacy. But the one thing today that came to mind when we were going to cook, and that's intellectual intimacy. And that's where a couple comes together and they have a project together. They're creating something, whether it's a trip, a wooden planter, or they're cooking together. It's a beautiful way to come together and create something really special.
How does a project make it intellectual intimacy? Is it that you're problem solving together, or?
Well, it's interesting, you know, Peter and I are both learning to cook more, and we love to cook together. So we got Jamie Oliver's 5-ingredient cookbook from his dear friend Lindsay. So we are going through this cookbook. We're choosing recipes and we're getting the groceries together.
So much fun, right?
And watching each other learn these different skills. And in the end, we've created something not by rote, because we've made it a million times, but because we have to, well, I don't know, this is the wrong measurement. We have to figure that out, and we have to figure this out. And I think you're stirring too much and it's too long. And then, but at the end, you've created this. And then you can also go back in and say, next time we could try it this way, or we could try it that way. So quite interestingly, and that having a sexual experience is not that different than what you do when you're in the kitchen.
It's the same skill, the same skill set. It can be. And, you know, actually that's probably a good sort of a classroom to develop those communication skills. And just
it's like that team building.
Yeah, exactly. Team building, and I like it this way and you like it this way, and maybe we can do it this way together, just to kind of open those conversations up.
And then I think you get to see another side of your partner, you know, and it's also really exciting. And Esther Perel, you know, the writer of Mating in Captivity, talks about observing your partner doing something they're really passionate about, and how much that's a turn on.
Like so much fun.
It is. I love to hear Peter playing the guitar in the other room, or walking in and watching him play the guitar, because I cannot do any of that. But he's so in love with that process, and it's so wonderful to see him. He's this guy that works in technology and all of this stuff, but to see him doing something that he's passionate about, it's really hot.
I think seeing anybody in their element, there's a certain energy about it that's very attractive.
Yes, I agree.
So let's talk about the micro moments of connection, some examples of what that might look like.
Research shows couples that have rituals and routines have happier relationships, because they're creating these intentional moments of connection. Whether it's getting up off the couch and greeting your partner at the door, whether it's a good morning, or remembering how they like their coffee and bringing it to them, creating these tiny moments, but with intention. One of the things I have my clients do when I'm doing couples counseling is I have them, one of the exercises would be, every day I want you to text your partner 5 things that you appreciate about them. And after a few days, it goes beyond she's a really good mom, because you have to get specific. What did she do today? What did he do today that I really appreciate?
Right.
Oh, he remembered that creamer that I really love. Or he put gas in my car because I was running late for work. So you begin to take a look at little things, because we can very easily get caught up in our routines and caught up in all the things we think we have to do.
Right.
And we miss those moments of appreciation, of touching base and checking in.
So do you think it's important for couples to have date nights every week, or, you know, that time together, no matter what?
I think date nights for your entire life. And something that shows up that I notice with my younger couples when they've got children, you know, we grew up in a culture where there were cousins that babysat and grandparents that babysat. People don't live as close to those family connections, and less people seem to be hiring babysitters. And so what ends up happening is they don't ever take a night away from their children, even for a couple of hours. And it's so important to get out of the house. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money.
Do something fun.
Anything, but just a moment to just be in a new space, have a conversation, make that eye contact, which is so important. And so I'm a huge believer in the date night. I love date night. And it gives me something to look forward to, because I feel prioritized, and I feel like we're prioritizing the relationship.
I think that part of looking forward to something is very romantic as well. You know,
it's anticipation,
yeah,
which is desire, which is part of the sexual response cycle.
That's right.
It begins in the brain, the anticipation, the looking forward. What am I going to wear? Where are we going to go? There might be little surprises.
Yes,
yes,
all that.
Yeah.
All that and more, right?
That's right, exactly.
We'll take it all. I love that we're here for the Valentine's Day segment. Tell us how Valentine's Day can be a reset for couples. How can that special moment every year be a reset? Because I know a lot of people, they go out to a restaurant, it's crowded, it's not really that intimate. I know it's a special time together, but it's like a special time with 200 other people.
Right.
So how can the ritual of Valentine's Day, like what we're doing today, making the truffles ahead of Valentine's Day, kind of the anticipation of leading up to it. So examples of that.
Well, I think what's important is looking at what your relationship needs. You're right. You can make a reservation and be with a dining room filled with people and feel kind of rushed and it's noisy. You may still love that ritual of going out for a beautiful dinner, and that might suit you. But I think the important thing is to take a look at what you enjoy as a couple. If the idea of doing it 2 days ahead of time so it's not crowded, then go ahead and do that. For me, Valentine's Day is about being intentional. It's advertised. The date is coming up. So we can begin to plan and think about creating a special moment. Whether it's what you write in the card, whether it's remembering a small gift, whether it's flowers or it's an experience. I'm big on experience. I'm big on activities because it gets you fired up. It's something different and you play together.
That's right.
You play together. So for me, how I look at Valentine's Day is an opportunity to draw beautiful attention to the love that you have. And if you are fostering that throughout the year, Valentine's Day may not feel so daunting.
Good suggestion. So a couple of questions I wanted to ask as we're ending our conversation. Thinking about our 20-year-olds that are just entering the dating scene, what advice can you give them to start a healthy dating life? What would some skills be? Because I wouldn't think that they have much more of a heads up than we did at the same time. So what are some good pointers for our 20-year-olds?
I think what's really important is to work on your communication skills. People at the age of 20 now are growing up behind screens, and they have access to all kinds of stimulation, all kinds of things that gets the dopamine going, whether even if it's pornography or it's the videos that they're watching. And I think it's really important for them to have opportunities where they're learning to communicate, to make eye contact, to ask questions. Let's remember, right, how to win friends and influence people. The most interesting person in the room is the interested person in the room.
That's right.
So when you ask questions and you're curious and you listen and you remember, and you're not so eager to talk, but you're eager to get to know, to seek to understand.
Exactly.
So communication, I think, is important. And the other thing too, dating doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, a date can be going for a walk. We live in Florida.
Right.
This is the most beautiful place for
We
any
live
kind
in
of
paradise,
date. That's
right.
Go to the beach, catch a sunset, go for a walk, learn to cook together.
cook.
You know, I have young clients, and I remember I had a young client, he was in high school, and that was what he was doing for some of his days, is they were cooking together. Love that. And how sexy is that? A man in the kitchen.
I know,
A man in the
exactly.
kitchen is so hot. I love it.
It's the best.
It is the best.
You won't get any complaints from me about that.
That's right. That is not what I grew up observing. So I love to see that.
I know. My last question is, what one piece of advice could you give people generally about intimacy? Just one thing that they can try out themselves that would be beneficial or open a conversation to intimacy?
I wrap up every one of my couples sessions with this question. I have them turn toward each other,
Right.
and ask this question, and I help them, I lead them through it. The question is, what can I do to make you feel more loved? And the answer has to be a behaviorally specific answer. And it might be, put the lid on the peanut butter jar. It could be that. But it makes people get away from like, well, understand when I'm having a hard day. Okay.
That's kind of nebulous, right?
Right. I would feel loved if you met me at the door with a kiss. I would feel loved if you sent me a text message during my day. So that's their homework. So the first thing we talk about when they come back in is, tell me, how did you do? Did you do the
Right,
homework?
right.
You know, because what happens with that is, I'm asking you, I'm hoping you hear me. It's a request. And when you do this thing, when you gift me that, it shows you're listening, it shows you respect me, it shows that you care, and it builds trust and connection and appreciation.
Right. Oh, that's a wonderful suggestion, and so easy to do. It's communication, like you said, a quick text, or whatever your loved one needs.
We all desire to be seen and heard, and to know that we're valued, worthy, and deserving. And our partners have a lot of power to bring that into our lives every day.
Right. How wonderful that we can do that for each other.
That's right.
Mona, thank you so much for being here today. And we're going to move on to our next segment in the kitchen, where we will meet Mona's partner, Peter. And together we are going to make chocolate truffles.
Oh my goodness.
I
It's
know,
wonderful.
right?
I can't wait.
Chocolate's just the most wonderful thing. It's
All that oxytocin.
I know, oxytocin, polyphenols. I mean,
right.
it's just so healthy for us. So we will see you all soon in the kitchen. Hi everyone, we are back for the fun part of making chocolate truffles. And I'd like to introduce Peter to you all.
Hello everyone, I'm Peter.
Peter and Mona are a couple, they're together, and so we're going to be practicing the principles that Mona laid out for us earlier when we were talking. To get started, I'm going to show you a very simple truffle recipe. Just want to keep it simple. And while I'm getting a few things going, we'll talk to Peter and Mona a little bit. I've got coconut cream that I'm just going to bring that up to temperature. What temperature?
158 and 176.
That's right. And then we're going to be making ganache here in a kind of makeshift double boiler. You don't need a double boiler. You can certainly use one if you have it, but if you don't, you just fill your pan up with water a couple inches and put either a Pyrex glass bowl or a stainless steel bowl over it, and the steam is going to do the work of melting the chocolate so we can make the ganache. While we're waiting for this to get to the correct temperature, tell us, you were just telling us about your anniversary date at the living room.
Absolutely. I recreated the whole night. We started at Warrior One doing yoga together.
Oh, right,
And we did restorative yoga. And then went to the living room. We had a beautiful osobuco. Oh, it was awesome. It was amazing.
good.
We had a little bit of wine and we closed the place down.
I was going to ask if you closed the place
Of
down.
course,
down.
of course
Yes.
we closed the place down. And it was really beautiful.
So every month because you know I love rituals and routines.
Right.
We celebrated our date anniversary
Oh,
on the
I
13th.
love that. Date anniversary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poor guy. This is what happens when you date a therapist or a sex therapist, because he has to sort of be part of all the research and have all this fun and be my guinea pig for these things.
And it's been great. So
Isn't that like the fun of it though, really?
Yeah.
But I think what's fun about doing this together is possibly our second or third day after we met, Peter invited me over for dinner. And when I walked in the door, he had a glass of wine and he had the cutting board and he handed me a knife and he said, okay, your job is to do this.
That's right.
So we were getting to know each other and he gave me something to do.
At the time, I was on his vegetarian kick. So I did curry lentil.
Yum.
What I ended up doing. And impressed her enough to
Have a second date.
that was like the second.
It worked.
What I like about the idea of cooking together is it allows you to connect with someone. There is, as Mona mentioned, there's this sort of intellectual intimacy.
Yes.
So for me, it was the ability to try things together. What is it like actually to cook with her?
Yes.
And what is it like to
How
do
bossy
things?
is she going to be?
Oh yeah.
How controlling is she going to be?
That's right. What happens when we burn something? How do we recover from it? But it was a really great time.
So it doesn't take long to get that up to temperature, does it?
No. Where are we? I feel that we are there.
Yeah, I think so.
So coconut milk has come to a simmer. And the tricky part about this is that you really have to pay attention to the temperatures in the recipe for best results. This is a vegan recipe, so I'm using coconut milk instead of regular dairy milk. And there's also no sugar in this recipe, which is great because you can have all the chocolate you want. Chocolate is actually good for you. It's the sugar that gets us in trouble. So sugar-free, dairy-free, gluten-free. It's all the markers.
And all the oxytocin, all the feel-good hormones from chocolate.
Absolutely. So we're going to take 8 ounces of sugar-free dark chocolate. I got this from Whole Foods Market. It's the 365 House brand. And we're just going to pour that chocolate right in there. I'm just going to pour the cream just over the top of it, and we're going to let it sit just like that for a few minutes. So what's your favorite dish that Peter's made for you?
Oh, he makes an incredible beet salad. And not only does it taste delicious, but it is beautiful. See, my presentation is not so exciting. It might taste good, but his presentation is beautiful. So that was one of the first things he mentioned.
Combination.
Right?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And he's
really
usually
good.
got great music going on in the background, singing in the kitchen.
And
He's
a
very
little bit
musical.
A little bit of some red wine, and maybe even a little, if you're lucky, there might even be some dancing in the kitchen.
There you go, that's right.
Right, dancing in the kitchen, yes.
Oh, yes.
And how do you like working with Mona in the kitchen? Is she a great sidekick?
She is great.
Okay, do either one of you want to stir?
Go ahead, Peter.
Want to stir?
Okay.
There you go. As you can see, the chocolate is starting to melt. Going to go ahead and add our room temperature vegan butter in here. So again, dairy-free. So here we have a nice view of the ganache in progress. It is just coming together very nicely. Now with the ganache, we're not using a whisk because we don't want to get air into it. We just want it to melt like this and become this beautiful color. As soon as it's completely smooth and shiny, we're just going to pour it into this mold. This is a 6x6 stainless steel mold, and then it gets wrapped and it goes into the refrigerator to set. And that's all there is to the ganache. It's simple and easy.
Wow.
So this will be a great way to get your Valentine's date night started.
yum.
You should do it a day ahead or a couple days ahead, kind of start the Valentine's celebration off early.
Absolutely. We were listening to something the other day. Peter's got an app called Waking Up, and it was a conversation on the art of curiosity and how we lose that. We're so busy with other things that we forget to take some time to be open and curious. And I think that's another beautiful thing about cooking and creating something from a recipe, especially if you've never done it before.
Right.
You're not really sure.
Right.
I mean, what you see in the book looks beautiful, but what's it going to be like to try But the brain loves novelty, and that's why trying new things with your partner is exciting.
Oh, absolutely. So let's talk about the chocolate chips for a moment. In the bakery, I use this brand of chocolate. It's 100% cocoa. So it's got a lot of caffeine in it, and you don't need a lot. But it is full of polyphenols, and which are so healthy for you. Polyphenols are anti-inflammatory, and almost all disease is caused by inflammation. The more polyphenols you can eat every day, the better off you are. Like we were saying before, the chocolate is healthy. It's the sugar that you want to avoid. When I use this chocolate, I use a mixture of xylitol, monk fruit, or stevia, and maybe a little splash of agave. That's generally the sweeteners that I use for this. When we get to the tempered chocolate, I'll talk to you a little bit more about that too, because you have to do it just in a certain way. You have to keep stirring, and you have to watch the temperature because it just goes really fast. And the more you lower the temperature and raise the temperature again, the more it stresses the chocolate. The ganache is pretty easy to work with.
So the ganache is just chocolate with a little bit of cream that we put in it.
Chocolate, cream, and butter. So it's equal amounts chocolate, equal to cream, and then it's an ounce of butter. So that's just the recipe. And you can do all kinds of other things. So you can put a liqueur in here.
When would you put that other flavoring in? At any time?
When you put the cream in,
Okay.
it would be at that time. I would do like half cream and half like Grand Marnier or some Courvoisier, something like that, some kind of a brandy.
Okay.
I think would be really tasty. And of course the alcohol cooks out.
Sure.
So you just get the flavor of it. And it would be kind of fun to add some orange flavoring to it too.
Ooh, yeah, that
Sure.
sounds good.
Okay.
How are we doing now?
I don't know if you're familiar with something called the 5 love languages. Sherell, have you heard of the 5 love languages?
The book?
The book.
I have it. I kind of thumbed through it one time.
Written by Gary Chapman.
Yep.
And the premise behind that is that we love our loved ones in 5 different ways: acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation, quality time, and acts of service. And we tend to love them in the way we want to be loved, but finding out
Right.
how your partner wants to be loved is really important. But
Yes.
cooking really hits the 5 love languages. Preparing something for somebody else is an act of service. Complimenting somebody, like, you're doing a beautiful job of stirring this chocolate,
And you
sweetheart,
really
that's
are.
awesome.
is words of affirmation.
Yes, I love that.
There you go. And another love language is gifts. So when you gift this to somebody, you're hitting their love language. And physical touch. I love the way you're stirring that. What a beautiful job you're doing. Pat, pat, pat. So lots of other ways to have fun and be playful.
All right, now be very careful. There's steam in here, and steam can burn you faster than you can say ouch. So we're just gonna let the steam go out the backside this way. Like that, move it away. And then we're going to pour this chocolate in here, into the mold. There we go. It's hot. This is how it looks when it goes into the form. And so we're just going to cover this tightly with PBA-free plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator, and that's all there is to this. We're going to be making the tempered chocolate now. The difference between the tempered chocolate and the ganache is that the tempered chocolate is the outside of the shell. It's what makes it hard, so it makes it like a piece of candy. And this is more the creamy center part. Now, tempered chocolate can be very tricky. You absolutely want to make sure you don't get any water in it, no liquid in it. You need to keep your eye on the temperature, and it has to be stirred constantly. So those are the things to know about that. While Mona's chopping and Peter is melting the chocolate chips, I'm going to cut the ganache that I made last night into pieces so that we can coat them and decorate them. We're going to do a few squares, and then we have some molds that we're going to use to make some other shapes with.
Have you ever made anything with chocolate before, Peter?
No, no, I have not.
Oh,
So this is my first time.
it's your first chocolate adventure. I have made so much chocolate in my lifetime, I cannot tell you. People ask me what my favorite food is. I typically say chocolate.
It's running through your veins now.
Yeah. Sugar-free chocolate. So right now I am just making sure the edges are nice and straight. Just strictly for aesthetics here.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this was hard as can be.
No,
Okay.
it's been sitting out.
Oh, how fun. Okay.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
And now we're using a whisk, which means it's okay to get air in it.
Yes, we want to get air in it now. No, that's so pretty. That looks really good. I'm going to show you how to temper chocolate in a double boiler. First, I filled the bottom pot with about 2 inches of water, brought it to a boil. You can probably still see the steam right here, and then I turned it off. Next, I'm going to add my chocolate into the bottom of the pan. All right, I'm also using my digital candy thermometer. You can see it's starting to melt right away. Nice and beautiful. Chocolate's going to start to melt right at 82 degrees. And for tempered chocolate, we want it to be right around 115. If it gets too hot, just pull it off and let it cool down. Okay, now you can see how pretty and shiny that is. That's what we want. Let's just start to see how we're getting a shine there. Pay attention more to the shininess and the consistency when you think it's thin enough to actually dip the ganache into the tempered chocolate. These are my dipping tools. Just dip it right in there. And looking good. Give it a couple taps. Get the chocolate off the bottom. And then place it over here on our wax paper. And just keep going. Let's do a heart now. And we can do one of the balls. In fact, we could probably put all the balls in there. Go ahead and coat them. Oh, so beautiful. And of course, we have our strawberries. So we are back with our beautiful Valentine's truffles. Look what Mona and Peter made for each other today. They are absolutely beautiful. We have the ganache covered with the tempered chocolate, decorated, and we also have the ganache just as squares of fudge. So you can do a couple of different things with this recipe. Before we go, tell us how we can reach you and about your book, and what are these cards here? They look like fantastic Valentine's gifts.
Well, these would be great Valentine's gifts. These are a couple of items that I love, and there's an author by the name of Emily Nagoski, and she wrote Come As You Are, which is an incredible book, but she also wrote Come Together, which is a book for couples. The science and art of creating lasting sexual connections. Lots of great strategies and tools to bring greater intimacy into your life. And another thing that we have fun doing, and this was a gift from a friend of mine at Christmas, is basically conversation starters, open-ended questions that go from mild to medium or spicy.
Yeah, spicy.
So one of the questions that you might ask, what is the most romantic thing I've done for you?
Absolutely, those are great questions.
Can you talk? Can you
answer?
Can you talk about it?
The most romantic, I think It was that she wrote me a poem every day for 30 days.
Oh, that's lovely.
You like that? That's
Yeah,
good.
I did. I really like that a lot.
How wonderful.
So these are fun because this is a great way to lose the day of work when you're sitting down after dinner
Right.
or something, to just change the subject, open it up. It doesn't have to be complicated. Let something like this be just a tool or a strategy you can use to have
Right.
deeper connection and intimacy.
How much fun is that? Yeah,
great.
It's all good. And where can people reach you, Mona?
So I'm co-owners of Ideal Life Counseling, and my office is in Oldsmar, Florida, but I see many clients via telehealth for counseling sessions. So I
Okay.
can be reached at Mona McGregor, LMHC@gmail.com.
And I'll put the links below to Mona's website as well. So that's it for us here today. Thank you so, so much for joining us. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. All my cooking videos and recipe cards are on my Patreon channel. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon, all under the handle of Healthy Chef Sherell. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And from all of us to all of you,
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.